if I told you that you need to fire your social media agency right now? If you're a business owner or a marketing executive, this video will save you thousands of dollars and a lot of headache, because I'm about to share with you the 6 biggest red flags when you're outsourcing your social media through a third-party vendor. I've added timestamps in the video if you'd like to skip to the parts that are more relevant to you. Now picture this. I'd like to set the stage a little. You're a small business owner, busy building a business. You know you need a social media presence. You need to build that brand awareness. But the reality is, you just don't have the time to do it yourself. So you come across this agency that presents you with a beautiful marketing pitch and promises you the world in exchange for a few $1,000s a month. It seems like a fair trade at the moment when you think of how quickly your business is going to grow once you hire them and you trust these people will do their job effectively. Only it doesn't quite work that way. They start creating content and it's mediocre at most. Your reach is lower than when you posted once a month when you felt like it. And the overall performance just doesn't justify the investment. Yet they're telling you everything is going great, and all of a sudden it starts to sound a lot like professional gaslighting.
These results are great. You just don't know enough about social media marketing, and we know what we're doing. So just trust the process and make sure the check clears. Thank you.
Does that sound familiar? What most small business owners are doing wrong when working with agencies is not hiring someone you trust to monitor their work. And in all fairness, and I want to make that very, very clear, not all agencies are made the same. Some really do deliver phenomenal work. However, there's nothing more frustrating than throwing your hard-earned money out the window on a service that just doesn't deliver the results they promised. So here are the 6 red flags your social media agency doesn't want you to know. And I am here to weed those frauds out. Red flag number 1, lack of strategy, structure, and general direction. Let me ask you this. Is there a content strategy? What content pillars did you agree upon? What are the agreed upon guidelines? A reputable social media agency should have a clear content strategy in place for each of their clients. This includes understanding your brand goals, target audience, key messages, and brand guidelines. It also involves establishing clear KPIs, developing content pillars, competitor analysis, and more. If you don't know what a KPI is, it stands for Key Performance Indicator. It is a measurable value that indicates how effectively a company or organization is achieving its key business objectives. In organic social media, a common KPI is engagement rate, for instance. This metric measures the level of interaction content receives from your audience, such as likes, comments, clicks, etc. Your social media agency should always report on your KPIs and provide clear progress tracking report. Ask if there is a documented content strategy outlining what type of content will be created, when will it be posted, and on which platforms. And there is another important note. One thing is to have the documented strategy, and another thing is to actually follow it. So if that document exists, it's important to ensure it's actually being used. Red flag number 2, the content they post is completely random. Each post uses a different format, topic, style, things of that sort. So let's talk about content pillars and brand guidelines. Content pillars are the main topics or themes that your content revolves around. Typically, you'll see 3 to 5 main content themes on a single account. Take mine, for example. I have 4 main content pillars. The first one is content creator tips. Second one, social media made simple for business owners. Third, content tools reviews. And fourth, I share content that introduces me as a creator and as a real person. Does the content on your account look completely random? If it does, ensure that the agency has discussed and agreed upon content pillars that align with your brand identity and objectives. If your agency simply creates random posts to see what sticks without actually having a solid plan, this is a clear indicator of lack of strategy and a huge red flag. Another big part is brand guidelines, which outlines the visual and verbal elements that should be consistent across all brand communications. If agency has not asked for your brand guidelines, it could indicate lack of attention to detail or simply lack of knowledge. If you don't have such a document, there should always be a conversation regarding the use of visual elements, voice and tone, verbiage, messaging, do's and don'ts, and things of that sort. So make sure to have that conversation. Red flag number 3, suspicious activity. Look out for any suspicious activity such as fake followers, engagement pods, or buying likes and comments. These tactics may artificially inflate metrics but do not result in genuine engagement or growth for your brand. If you suspect any unethical practices, it's a major red flag that the agency is not operating with integrity. Besides that, look out for other suspicious activities. If you see a bunch of weird accounts irrelevant to your industry engaging with your content, it's likely that your agency is using their own client account to boost engagements and make statistics appear better on paper. Look for authentic interactions from real people who actually represent your demographic and evaluate the amount of real engagements versus artificial. Red flag number 4. Your brand is not getting the attention that was promised. Let me give you the inside scoop on how most agencies operate. I'm gonna get a lot of hate from agency owners for this one. Let's make some people mad. Initially, you'll likely meet the senior figures during the pitch. These individuals are decent marketers, perhaps better at sales than actual marketing, but they've mastered the art of persuasion and can sell anything. However, once the deal is sealed, your account gets passed down to a junior staffer with little experience who juggles multiple accounts similar to yours. So you're at the mercy of a manager who gets paid a fraction of what you pay every month for the services. The rest ends up in the owner's pocket because it's their business. Not to mention, priority is often given to accounts with bigger budgets. If you're not the highest spender, your needs tend to slide down the priority list and get addressed whenever there's time. Personal opinion, you're much better off hiring an in-house person. And if you're unsure how to manage them, consider bringing on a consultant as well. You can also opt in for a freelancer or a single person agency. These guys tend to care about their reputation more, as it's a lot harder for them to bring in more clients, new clients, because they don't have the dedicated team that only does lead generation like most agencies do. Trust me on that one, it'll be more cost effective in the long run. Red flag number 5. Competitors of your size and budget do better on social media than you. First of all, be reasonable and don't compare yourself to the industry leaders. Say you're a shoe store. Do not go on a Nike's account and say they do it better. They have a team of 100 people in their marketing department. So let's keep our expectations in check. But if your social content is not performing as well as competitors of similar size and budget, it suggests that the agency may not be delivering on its promises or effectively utilizing their resources. Their typical excuses are, it's the algorithm, it's the new meta update, it's the weather last week. Your reach is great. 200 reach per reel is a dream come true. Imagine 200 people walking into your room at the same time. That's a lot. If you hear any of those, run. Red flag number 6. This one perhaps is the most infuriating. Bad performance tracking. Do not get me started on bad performance tracking because I'm going to lose my shit. First off, if your agency doesn't provide you with a detailed report, you need to get rid of them immediately. If they do they provide a weekly, monthly report, and what does it look like? A reputable agency should provide regular performance reports that detail key metrics and insights. These reports should be tailored to your specific goals and provide actionable recommendations for improvement. If the agency fails to deliver comprehensive performance tracking or provides vague or inconsistent reports, it indicates a lack of transparency and accountability. Now let's talk about what to keep an eye out for specifically. Each report should report on the same metrics. Numbers fluctuate, and that's normal. You may have a good month and then a bad month, and then the next month is better than the 2 previous months combined. It's the nature of social media, and as long as your metrics show an overall upward trend, you're on the right track. But if you start seeing your agency reporting on different metrics every time, that's a flaring red flag. If you see different metrics included in the report every time, something is going on that they don't want you to know. Something isn't adding up. While they may not be fabricating numbers outright, they're likely withholding crucial information, painting an incomplete picture, which basically means they did a crappy job, they're incapable of communicating the data, and provide a reasonable explanation to the dips and fluctuations. Perhaps they fear your reaction, particularly if there is a decline. However, fostering transparency from the outset is very important. Stay receptive to the statistics. After all, marketing, including social social media marketing is a long-term game, so sometimes results aren't immediate, but they eventually materialize, making the effort worthwhile. Nonetheless, your agency should never manipulate data to portray a rosier picture than reality. It's unethical, and frankly, clients see through the bullshit, or at least have a gut feeling that something isn't right. And that's why you're watching this video right now. So when is it time to cut the cord? Knowing when to part ways with the vendor can be crucial for your business success. No one wants to keep bleeding marketing money on something that just doesn't work. If you're experiencing issues with your current vendor, it's crucial to first identify the root of the problem. So consider bringing in a consultant to conduct an audit for your vendor performance. This is something I actually help my clients with. During an audit, I will take a deep dive into your accounts. This will include assessing the performance of all social media accounts for the past 3 months, analyzing each post, evaluating the content pillars, comparing your results to your top competitors. From there, I provide detailed feedback on what's working well and what isn't, along with actionable recommendations to pivot your social media strategy. Once armed with this information, you can then discuss potential changes with your vendor. They may be open to cooperating and working with implementing those changes to retain you as a client. If addressing your concerns directly hasn't helped or led to a resolution, the next course of action is to take the necessary steps to legally terminate the partnership. It would be a good idea to start looking for a replacement vendor while you're exiting the partnership. Don't be discouraged by the bad experience, as there are plenty of trustworthy and reputable vendors out there who will treat your brand right. Moving forward, consider using a consultant for quarterly or annual audits to evaluate your progress and provide an unbiased, data-driven overview of what's going on. And here's an extra insight. As you begin to address concerns such as lack of strategy, consistency, or content themes, or branding and messaging with your agency, they may suggest that these elements come with additional costs and fall outside of the scope of your current agreement. However, it's crucial to note comprehensive strategy discussion should have happened at the very beginning of your collaboration, as there's just no point in investing in social media marketing without a clear strategy and direction. If the agency has not provided you with strategy, they failed you from the start. The strategy conversation happens once, and once it's established, you can make performance-based tweaks, but the majority of work is done at the beginning, especially on brand new accounts. In the next video, I'm going to provide you with the checklist of what to look out for when you onboard a new social media manager or freelancer or an agency. So make sure to subscribe to not miss that video. Thank you for watching this video all the way through. Please consider subscribing. See you in my next video.